week, that's a true story. 100 bottles last week, that's a true story. 100 bottles last week, that's a true story. That's a true story. That's a true story. 100 bottles last week, that's a true story.
Yo. Welcome to another episode of Speak On It. I am your host, the mouthpiece of the Southeast, the one and only Mike Sean. Now, today, we have an internet sensation. Your boy, James. What's going on, James?
Not much, man. How you been doing that, bro?
Man, it's good, man. You the talk of the town.
Not really. Hey, I just saw a little, I did finally watch it like on Friday. So, hey, I did read those comments.
The comments, yeah, man. Hey, look, everybody, if you subscribe to the channel already, watch the videos and look at the comments. The comments are getting wilder and wilder. So, James, man, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right. About yourself?
Man, I can't complain, man. I can't complain. Hey, look, the people want to know, man. They heard you last week. They want to know, like, has anything changed, man? So, has anything changed since the last debate?
Nope.
Are you still voting for Trump?
Still am.
I mean, like, like there's nothing wrong with that, but just the way you kind of said it. And man, so I was getting a lot of calls from people that live in other parts of the nation. And one dude, man, he called you Nephew Ruckus, man.
Well, I take that well. I mean, if you're gonna be Nephew Ruckus, or how I feel if I just say, I mean, I'm just outside the plantation. You're still on it, so.
Man, that's wild. That's wild. So, so about the debate, did you enjoy it?
Well, put it this way, the first one was, that wasn't a debate. That was just, looked like two old guys was about arguing with each other and everything else. But that's,
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of remind me of, if you want to really watch the debate, just watch angry men, grumpy men, old men, and you'd be like, oh, wow. Yeah.
That was a good movie. Man. Now, I will say that I'm loving your audio now, man. It's great. It's better than how it was last week. Last week, you were definitely trying to conserve that data.
Well,
now,
yeah.
Shoot. You good, man. You good. So, have you casted your vote yet?
No. I'm doing mine just an old-fashioned way, just going in the afternoon, grab it, vote in there, and didn't leave.
Gotcha. And are you voting straight party?
Nope.
Okay, but definitely you're voting for Trump.
I mean, you sound like you had a problem with that, man. Like,
oh no, I know. I just want to clear it up because people were kind of confused. They didn't know like if you're going to vote for him or you're not. So they asked me to go ahead and give you direct questions.
Oh, direct.
Okay, so definitely Trump. That is your guy.
And that was my guy.
Okay, cool. So what did you think about the golly? What did you I'm not gonna ask you that question. But so you're definitely Trump. So we know you're voting for Trump. How does your family feel about that?
It's put this way, I'm the black sheep of the family, so I mean, my reason is just something, I actually got my wish. It's funny, but yeah.
Got you, because you're voting for Trump based on the policies. I remember you telling me that. You agree with his policies and whatnot. So, like, what do you think the outcome of the election is going to be? Do you think Trump is going to go ahead and bring home the win, or is it Biden?
Well, I think it's going to be close, but unfortunately, I think Trump is going to sweep the South.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of polls have Biden, within the margin of error for Georgia and Texas, but I'm just not buying that.
Well, I'm gonna put it this way. I mean, I have to go. You got to do your research on everything else. Texas got a influctuation, a bunch of moves.
A bunch of who?
I mean, a bunch of people moved to Texas. A lot of
Oh,
folks left
moves.
California and moved to Texas.
Oh, moves. I thought you said moons. I wasn't sure. Yeah, that's definitely true. I can see that. I can see that. Um, but yeah,
And
man, James. Hey, look, everybody was hitting me up, man, about your interview with some friends that were basically they didn't know that you kind of leaned the way that you leaned, and they were asking me like, when did James become a conservative? And I was like, well, he's always had these beliefs, but
I
now
mean,
he's being more vocal about it.
I've been had those beliefs. I mean, for crying out loud, if you know me, I mean, I was born and raised around a bunch of military people, so it's kind of like, and majority of the military does have a conservative view. So, and that was usually like that fed my, I mean, that fed me and everything else. I mean, if Democrats usually cut military spending and Republicans like to raise it up. It's just like, kind of look at it on your, I mean, vote for your best interest and everything else.
Gotcha. So your
I
best
do
interest
work
is
on base, so I mean, I did work in a training facility on base and everything else. So if they did decide to cut, they would cut back like recruiters would cut back on. Well, we ain't gonna take in that much because we ain't got no money.
so currently you still work on the military installation.
Yeah.
But you are aware that Trump, some of his policies are trying to, how do you say it, take away some benefits from government employees. You're aware of that, right?
Yes, I am aware of that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a catch-22. But yeah,
It's a double. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it don't really matter how you look at each of the policies. It's almost like a double-edged sword.
Gotcha. I mean, it is what it is. Like I always say, people need to vote for their best interests, for their own interests. But for me, I'm not voting for Biden. I'm voting for my family, and I'm voting for my friends and relatives who will definitely benefit from him being in office. And the same could be said about you. You're probably voting for Trump for some of the similar reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like I was telling you before, man, everybody, man, hey, look, you got the internet, you got the internet going nuts, man.
Yeah.
You want to wear that?
I wasn't aware of that, but I don't. It's not like the first time.
Oh, so this is like normal for you. It's normal.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, man. And what's crazy is I got some mixed reviews. Some people were saying, man, who is this guy? And then some people were saying, right on, James. But you definitely received some hate, but you received some love too.
Hey, you gotta look. Like I said, both of it. It's not really. I mean, everybody. You got your own opinion. I mean, I know I got some backlashes from most of the black community, but then again, it's starting to be it's starting to become a little popular trend and everything else. But I wasn't on that little popular catchphrase. I was always like that, but it's just, hey, you just do what you got to do.
So I get what you're saying. Basically, some of the views you've had them for years, whereas now you have some factions of the woke crowd kind of agreeing with a lot of things that you've said.
Yeah.
So I get that. Gotcha. Hey, is your internet going in and out again?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yours?
Nah, man, I got that good internet, man. I ain't a conservative when it comes to internet.
Oh, man, look, I'm not on Wi-Fi's and everything else.
Yeah, man, people were saying, where's this guy? Where's he calling from? Hey, one person said you had dial-up internet, man.
Oh, man, if I had that, I still wouldn't be having that phone.
Hey, I hear you, man. I hear you. But like I said, man, a couple people, man, they hit me up. Some of the texts were hilarious. It was like they were just so shocked that you were so vocal about voting for Trump, which in the first interview you really weren't. You were just saying you were leaning that way. But now it seems that you're definitely voting for him based off of the presidential debate. And
well, it's not that and everything else. It's more like I mean, I did fact check 50 Cent and everything else when he did a little 60% little Biden is going to increase taxes in every state and everything else. And I said, well, if he does that, I mean, I don't really like. I mean, you got to pay taxes. It don't really matter how you look at it, but if it start getting increased and everything else, a lot of rich folks is just going to pack up and leave. And I don't want to
I don't
bring them
believe
no,
that.
huh?
I don't believe that because they didn't do it. They promised that they were going to do that under Obama, and it never happened.
That's, they couldn't.
They couldn't. Yeah. So, like, if Biden is elected next week, what is that going to do for you? Or like, are you going to be upset? Are you going to grab a gun? Are you
I
going
already
to,
got that one, but
man?
I already got that one.
You said what now? You packing?
I already got that one. But I already got the gun. So
Yeah. Hey,
but
man.
if Biden get
Hey,
elected next week, ain't nothing going to change.
man. Hey, look, you and guns, man. There's some wild stories, man. You and guns. I,
Oh yeah.
you mind if I bring that situation up?
Done, but done, but I had to
No,
be.
okay. So in a nutshell, somebody stole James's car, and James confronted that person. So the person was bold enough to pull out a gun on James, and James said, "You ain't gonna use it." And James was right; he didn't use it. So I mean, a lot of times people don't realize that James, man, James is about that life.
That's about it. But that's about it. But every time I see him, he's around his little homeboys and everything else. But I do know his homeboy. I do
Wait.
know his homeboys well.
Oh, wait. So you're saying you're still talking to this individual? Are you kind of you're seeing this individual on a daily basis?
I don't see the individual on a daily basis and everything else, but I know his the people he hangs out with. Not really a daily basis, but we got a little history, and I think he's protected about he's around him, but the other dude is more like really about that life.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you kept it, civil. He.
I don't know. I know him. Then we go back. I know his homeboy. We go back in high school.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm glad that situation didn't end how it could have ended. Um, moving on, man. So football. I know you're a big Eagles fan, and as you see right now, Seattle for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So you, as an Eagles fan, what do you think about the Dallas Cowboys? Man, your internet's going out again. What's going on, man? You trying to conserve data? Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Yeah, kind of. Okay,
Yeah,
so you're, yeah. I mean, you repping, man. But so, do you have
can I
anything
wear
to
your
say about
mask?
what's up with the Cowboys, man? Like, are you fearing them, or you're not even worried about them this season?
I ain't worrying about it, but we do got to play Sunday night, so it is. I mean, if we win, we got a little strong suit. I mean, hold on a division for about a week, but and if we lose, we got some problems. So I'm hoping that it leans our favor and everything else. We win.
Yeah, definitely. What's up with Jalen Hurts?
Well, he's doing his. I mean, doing okay. He's he might play. He, they just throw him in there every now and then.
Yeah, yeah, man. So,
Well, you're a big Jalen Hurts fan since Alabama.
yeah, I've always liked Jalen Hurts. I've always liked him.
Hmm, I
Yeah,
did too. Not
yeah.
many Alabama fans did.
I forgot who was your college team.
Florida Gators.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of weird. You're not from Florida, but then again, we have a lot of people in Huntsville that love Miami Hurricanes. So
That was weird. That's kind of weird, but I can understand why they had all the best athletes and they was winning. So
yeah, Florida has a deep talent pool. Yeah. So I understand now you haven't voted yet, but you will be voting pretty
yeah,
soon. And you said you are packing. So now, as far as like the reason why you are packing, is that for like personal protection or just
Honestly, it was um it's I mean just to get away with it. Get away with it, get your license and everything else. It's just to protect you and everything else. I mean, you get the one is let you know what all the states in there when you handgun is legally carried and everything else. Mostly it's just red states.
Gotcha,
But
gotcha. So but you don't plan on using it anytime soon.
no,
Okay, just for personal protection. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. But
every now
it's
and then
kind of
clean it out and shoot a couple. Go out and deep and go to Larry's and shoot it out a couple times, and that's about
yeah,
it.
Larry's. Yeah, and then there's another place on County Line Road, Last Resort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have
I
you
don't
been
plan
there?
to. I'm not that much of like one of those. I mean, like I'm gonna pack a whole bunch of them and everything else. But I do live out in the suburbs and everything else. And that's mostly the way you get robbed at. So you just
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. So moving forward, will you be attending the inauguration if Trump is elected?
no.
Why not?
And no, I'm
You,
not.
you so you don't love him like that.
No,
Okay, okay, okay. Because so we won't be seeing you wearing a MAGA hat or anything.
no.
Okay, okay, cool. Why do you think people they just dislike Trump? What is your take on it?
Dislike Trump.
Yes. Do you
My
think
take
he's
on.
misunderstood?
I think. Well, think about this. It started back in right after that celebrity roast of Donald Trump and everything else. He
Right.
announced he's running for president. Everybody thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, even I was one of them thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
South Park made a spoof about it, like him going to Canada, taking over, and it was a Trump version of him in Canada and everything else. Everybody thought this is a real election. Okay, where's the real politician? But Trump came in there, beat everybody. 2000 Rubio, Gary Kasich, and Ted Cruz, Count
Yeah.
Chocolate. But
Whoa. What'd you call him?
Count Chocolate.
What is that? Count Chocolate. What
Well, if you take the thing out, I mean, he looked like a vampire off of the Count Chocolate with the little polka dot thing.
you talking about Cruz?
Yeah, got to throw a little joke in there, so
Yeah.
So he beat everybody out in this one, and he was like, you looked around and we're like, well, he won the Republican nomination. All right, let's just go and see what side he had to offer. And then he just goes around, he hits all the everything, black churches,
Mhm.
everything, Latino things, did all the kind of stuff, and they were saying like he was still losing in the polls, like he was
Mhm.
still losing. But then they went and put up like he's racist and everything else and all that stuff and tinted all things. So I had to go look at 3 News to get
Mhm.
something, and there was a lot of black folks in there were just sitting there. There was a lot of black folks sitting there listening what he had to say, and it was like, okay, he ain't that bad. It's just you just way I keep just making this stuff up. They was scared.
Yeah.
But during election day, when he got elected in, it was like Hillary did won the popular vote. But
Mhm.
some of the states that, I mean, I was shocked that my home state of Pennsylvania, went red. And then it went red since Reagan. Then
Yeah.
Ohio went red.
A lot of
And
people up there
Michigan went
felt
red.
that
Huh?
Hillary forgot about them. A lot of people up there they felt that she forgot about them.
And I'm going to say, like, she thought she had it in. I mean, she probably just thought she had it in the bag. I'm going to say, yeah, you probably did thought of that.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, but you forgot, like, hey, you're not really, it was just weird. And then all of a sudden, everybody started turning like sore losers and started like saying,
Mhm.
we're just going to protest everything. We hate it. We hate Trump. We hate Trump.
So do you think like whoever's the winner, are there going to be protests from the opposing sides?
Probably so.
Okay.
I still think that.
Gotcha. So, what is your take on groups like Antifa and Proud Boys?
Well, thing about it is I just learned about the Proud Boys like in October, and the thing about it is it was a Latino from Cuba that was black is calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, because he said it was a white supremacist, and I was like, what? That is not a white supremacist. I mean, Joe Biden said it, but I was like, okay, that's not a white supremacist. So
You talking about what's the guy's name? Enrique down in Miami?
yeah, the
Okay.
film and the leader. So I was like, what? I thought it was gonna be like a extreme white Cuban dude or something like that, but it was just all like brown, black, and everything else in the Proud Boys. And I was like, but it's just far right. They left Cuba because a taxi cab driver in Cuba makes a doctor in Cuba makes more than less than a taxi cab driver in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want to go back to that. When they left that one, they don't want to go back to that thing. They love capitalism so much, so it was just they went trying to form their own thing. Just it's more like a counteraction to something else. Antifa was on the left, and they're doing all that stuff. It's just more like a counteraction to each side.
Yeah, so Antifa pretty much gained their prominence after Charlottesville. And
Yeah.
actually, Antifa's been around since the 1930s.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of them feel that like if they had a big enough stronghold that they could have stopped the Nazi Party in Germany decades ago. And the Proud Boys, from what I've seen, really they're kind of just a drinking group, but they're politically savvy.
Yeah.
And Enrique, that's the Cuban guy that I think he's like with the national chairman or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that they can't be racist because their leader is a racist. Well, their leader is of a different ethnicity than white.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, and I know I'm kind of going off, off on a tangent, I should say. Are you familiar with the Nation of Islam?
Of course.
Would you agree that most people would say that the Nation of Islam is a black racist organization? Not your own opinion, but a white person.
I would think probably a white person probably would think of the Nation of Islam as a black racist organization if I was white.
What if I told you that the Nation of Islam was founded by a white person?
Huh. Didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, look up Fard Muhammad.
Huh.
Yeah.
But where he came from? Like Turkey or something?
Allegedly, but he's had many aliases. They actually don't know where he just disappeared like in 1933 or 36. But he was definitely a white man.
Yeah, you can disappear in the 30s. 60s and 70s, it was hard to disappear and everything else, but yeah.
So I said all that to say this. You could actually still have an organization that is deemed to be racist, but led by a non-black person or non-white person.
I would say deemed being racist. I'm not arguing against you and everything else, but
no. I was just laying it out there for you.
I agree, but Proud Boys accept anybody and everything else. As long as you just agree with it, it's just far right and everything else. That's about weirdest thing else. I just looked it up. Like you looked it up a couple weeks ago and be like, okay, yeah, but it's not yet. It takes time to get hijacked. It takes some time. Like the Nation of Islam probably started out like Muslim would start out a religion of peace and everything else. And Malcolm X, when he was here in the Nation of Islam, before he made that Mecca trip, and when he made that Mecca trip, he changed his whole philosophy.
He didn't change his whole philosophy.
Well,
but we can talk about that's a whole different discussion. But
that's a different topic. But I was just going on that.
Yeah,
part
I know, but I had to correct you on that, brother, because he didn't change his whole philosophy.
He didn't change it, but he tweaked it up and said, "Oh yeah, we probably could work with him." He didn't change it, but he
still wasn't going to allow them into his organization.
I understand that one.
So he didn't change his whole philosophy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to debate with you on Brother Malcolm.
I'm not saying I'm arguing with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
No, you're good. You're good, man. I respect that, man. But yeah, for me, even with Antifa, they do some things I don't agree with. So I don't think everybody on the left agrees with Antifa's tactics, just like everybody on the right. I don't think everybody on the right agrees with Proud Boys' tactics.
I don't either.
But they are two extreme groups.
Yeah, but I just say, I mean, it's almost like yin and yang. It's you got to have one without the other, some extreme, just to to counter out, to balance each other out.
Yeah, and that's why Antifa kind of came to prominence in the U.S. is because they started clashing with the far right groups.
Yeah, that's what happened. I said like I do recall I did see like in Portland or somewhere out there, Antifa and they had a Antifa member and a Portland Proud Boy member. They sit there, they had finally had a talk, but that's about. Remember seeing that one? It was pretty good. They had some, and they agreed in a lot of things and some things, and then they went and a little ceasefire. But I kind of glad on that part. But
so if this was 1963 and we both lived in Huntsville, Alabama, and we went down to one of the many marches that were going on during that time period.
Yeah.
Which group do you think would be marching with us? And which group do you think would be throwing rocks at us?
Well, we all know that the KKK were probably throwing rocks and leading the dogs and everything else. And it's 1963, and the Republicans kind of did turn their backs on us. And let's just say, I would say probably, maybe, I think Antifa's more of an anarchist, but I say Antifa.
Okay, cool. So by saying all that, I really can't be mad at some folks who label the Proud Boys as a white racist fringe group. We both know that their group doesn't only consist of white people.
Yeah. I just said when I saw it, I was just like, oh, wow, this is shocking and everything else. I thought it was run by, but it got everybody in there. I was like, okay, it'd be like another 20, 30, 10 years before it get hijacked, but everything gets hijacked by anything. So,
well, overwhelmingly the population or the group membership is Caucasian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Miami has a lot of conservative Hispanics living in that area.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like you'll see it on election night, they'll probably show Florida and then they'll say, oh, we're waiting for the votes from Miami to come in. That's a huge liberal population. As
I
the
would say
years
it's
go
not.
on, I mean, it becomes more conservative because a lot of these people, the Hispanic Americans that came from other places, the place that they came from, they were conservative over there. So of course, when they come over here to America, they're going to be conservative as well.
That's what happens, and most of them come from Cuba, and now most of the large
Venezuela. Yes.
Yeah, population coming in, and they already seen the writing on this one before, and it was like, oh no, I'm not going back. I already just left for one crappy place. I'm not going back to this one.
Yeah, and a lot of them people don't realize they're coming to America on planes. So some of the ones who are settling in Miami, they're not coming from just humble beginnings. They actually have some money.
Yeah. They had already planned and everything else. I've seen a lot of the stories. It was like, oh no, I can't. I already seen this. This is just too much. I already drunk this coffee. I'm not going to do it again. It's not that great. I'm going to go on this one. That's just all it is. It's not really a scary vote. You say something like socialism, they think it's a scary thing, but we do have social programs and everything else, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of socialism.
Yeah. I think looking at when you look at American politics, and some people say, "Oh, if you're a Democrat, you're a communist or a socialist." I think that's a very simplistic way of looking at American politics because we're not trying to. Well, I'm not saying we, but Democrats, they're not trying to nationalize um, companies. They're not trying to get rid of privatization as far as ownership. So if you think about it, even Bernie Sanders wasn't really a quote unquote socialist. How we look at some of these other countries. Now he was a self-proclaimed socialist, but he wasn't.
Nah,
I think he was mainly trying to expand the welfare state.
well,
But of course, a lot of people they look at anything
I,
that's
my
not pulling
opinion on
yourself from
Bernie.
your bootstraps as socialist.
No, my opinion on Bernie Sanders is I thought he should have just never went for the little socialist things. He should have just went where he really is more of a unionist, but just
Mm-hmm.
because he's more pro-union than probably most of the Democrat candidates are allowed, but everything else.
Mm-hmm.
He's that old timer unionist and everything else that you know take care of the worker and everything else and all that kind of stuff, and then take care of the company because
Yeah.
he was the first one in 2016 before Trump hijacked before Trump took all his stuff
Mm-hmm.
and used it on his election term and everything else for the NAF trade because he was the first one that said it and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
After he lost that, when Bernie got beat by Hillary,
Mm-hmm.
he went and Trump took and said, I'm gonna just take Bernie stuff and use that against Hillary, and that probably what how he got elected in there.
Yeah, and both sides do it. Even back in the day, what in 2000, in 2008, even when Barack Obama was running, you had Democrats who said some things mudslung, and those Republicans took it right back during the general election, and they put it back on Obama, especially with the Jeremiah Wright. I think Hillary was the first one to bring that up.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so yeah, let me ask you one more question, man.
and
Who
I'm
you
gonna go
got?
for a record and say this: I did vote for Obama.
Both times?
Yes,
Okay. And then you just decided to vote for Trump because you probably didn't like Hillary. I think he had already mentioned that you didn't like Hillary.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So last question, man. Who you got winning? You got T.I. or you got Young Jeezy?
Uh, that's gonna be the toughest one, and I'm gonna say some people are gonna be mad at me if they caught me saying this. I'm gonna say Ti.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It depends on where you want to go, but it's by hit Ti. But if you go by like,
Okay.
but
Okay. Let me help you out. Let me help you out, James. So this is the year 2005. You at the green room.
it's 47 now.
But you're at the green room 2005. You're at A&M homecoming.
Oh God,
Who do you hear? Who was being played nonstop at the green room? His whole Trap or Die album. Young Jeezy.
I'm gonna say Jeezy.
Yeah, yeah. But man, T.I.'s body of work is just incredible.
That's the only thing I'm going by. After a while, I mean, Jeezy started just going downhill, and then he's just been like, okay.
Well,
I
Jeezy
mean, the
still
last,
he still got some hits though. He still got some
yeah, but
hits.
the last one I know was "My President Is Black." I was just, that was 2008.
Dang, you don't remember that one song? I said I do. With
I remember that, but it's just like
Big Boy. Yeah, I understand. It wasn't. Yeah, that was
how
the
he
song
made,
that kind of stuck in your head. The one he did with
yeah,
Nas.
yeah.
That was on the Recession album, wasn't it?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Recession. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the one with Kanye, "Home for My City."
Oh yeah. 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 That was a good track. That was on that movie Janky. Is it called Janky Promoters?
I haven't saw it.
With Ice Cube and Mike
Even
Epps.
though I thought I mean, I haven't. I mean, I've seen it, but I just don't remember how much I glanced. And it was just end the movie. I know he tried to break even, and it was just like, this is just Friday 2.0.
Yeah,
Next
yeah,
Friday
yeah,
2.0.
yeah, definitely. But that pretty much sums it up, James. Man, I appreciate you for coming back on the show, man. I know we're gonna do this every week. We definitely have to get you back into the building next week, or back on the show, I should say, next week, because we'll know who the president is. Maybe we might
Yeah,
know,
okay.
we might not know. But
Eh,
you got any shout outs, man, that you want to go ahead and give?
well, not really, but I'm just gonna give a shout out to Fade Factory 256, lining me up.
Okay, okay, cool, man, cool. But yes, that wraps it all up for us. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, the Rocket City Network, and we out. Yeah.
You want social critique, sports, politics, and battle rap beef? If you like eggs scrambled, then subscribe to the channel. Speak on it. Let's go, Mike Sean.